Hi everybody, this is Miss Viv, and now we're going to do a little story. Oh my God, where is my book? No, this is not a story that I'm going to use a book. This is a story where I'm going to use my fingers. Once upon a time, on a tall mountain, lived this person called Mr. Wiggle, and on the other mountain lived his friend called Mr. Waggle. Mr. Wiggle, Mr. Waggle. Very good. Now, Mr. Wiggle one day decided to go and meet Mr. Waggle. So Mr. Wiggle opened his door, he stepped outside and he shut the door. And then he went down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up the hill, and he reached Mr. Waggle's house. Knock, 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 knock. Knock, 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 he said. Who is it? Asked Mr. Waggle. It's Mr. Wiggle. Can you open up, please? Oh, sure. And Mr. Waggle came and he opened his door and he stepped outside and he shut the door. Oh, hello, Mr. Wiggle. Oh, hello, Mr. Waggle. And they hugged each other. And then Mr. Waggle asked him, Mr. Wiggle, would you like to come in for some tea? Oh, yes, said Mr. Wiggle. And so Mr. Waggle opened his door. He stepped inside. Mr. Wiggle stepped inside and they shut the door. And then they had a lot of tea and they had some nice cupcakes. And they were having a good time. But then it started getting dark. And so Mr. Wiggle said, oh, I must be going now. All right, said Mr. Waggle. So Mr. Waggle opened his door. Mr. Wiggle stepped out. Mr. Waggle stepped out and they shut the door. And then they said bye-bye and they gave each other hugs. And then Mr. Wiggle went down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up the hill till he reached his house. And then from there they screamed bye-bye. And Mr. Waggle said bye-bye. And so Mr. Wiggle opened his door. He stepped inside and shut the door. And then Mr. Waggle opened his door, stepped inside, and he shut the door. And that's how Mr. Wiggle and Mr. Waggle were able to meet each other. I hope you liked the story. Now, don't forget to subscribe. This is Miss Viv, and this is Rhythm and Rhyme.